The Dodgers have done it again. They just signed Kyle Tucker to an absolutely massive deal. Let's talk about it. I've had a little bit of time to process. I'm making this video around midnight, day of the signing Eastern time, and the deal happened about 2 hours ago. Lot to talk about for sure. Welcome back to Good Sports For You, where we're talking about good sports for you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This is an absolutely massive deal. According to Jeff Passan, it's a 4-year deal worth $240 million. That's an absolutely massive contract for a guy who's good, who's great even. He's not Shohei. He's not Soto. He's not Judge. He's not even close. That's an AAV, and I know there's signing bonuses. I know there are things deferred, it looks like, but that's an average value of $60 million a year. Shohei's AAV is $70 million. Judge is getting paid $40 million right now. I mean, it's just, I have so many concerns about so many things because I am a Brewers fan. Like, I'll be candid and I'll say that. Judge is getting paid $40 million a year for being a consensus top 2 player in baseball. If you want to say he's number 1, I'm going to disagree with you, but he's led the league in OPS plus 3 of the past 4 seasons. He's had over a 210 OPS plus over the past 3 seasons. That means he's at least been 110% better than league average over the 3 of the past 4 seasons, and he is getting paid $20 million less than Kyle Tucker. And like I said, Kyle Tucker is great. I'm not here to argue that. He had a great season last year. He had a 143 OPS plus, 4.6 WAR in 136 games. Season before, he was incredible, but he got hurt. And then seasons before that, 5.5 WAR, 5.5 WAR, 5.3. I mean, he's a consistently great player. He's never finished higher than 5th in MVP voting, though. You got a guy who's winning MVP every single year, making $20 million less. $20 million is an all-star caliber player. So that's my first thing is, what an enormous contract. And we saw Alex Bregman, who put up a good season this year. A great season even. Not great. I'm looking at it now. 3.5 WAR. So that's a little bit less than Kyle Tucker. 1.1 WAR less. With a worse OPS plus. Yeah, so he is worse. He signed a deal that's worth like 36 a year? Something like that? 35 a year, I think it is. 35? That's like half. And okay, so here are the full details of what they say of Kyle Tucker's Dodgers contract per ESPN source. This is coming directly from Jeff Passan's Twitter. 4 years, $140 million guaranteed. Opt-outs after years 2 and 3, so I don't know if that's team opt-outs or player opt-outs or what. $64 million signing bonus, $30 million deferred, 57.1 a year in net present value after factoring in deferrals, a record by $6 million. You look at Juan Soto, and I know that Juan Soto has a much longer contract. I understand that. I totally do. Soto's getting paid $50 million a year. 51. Soto is leaps and bounds better than Kyle Tucker. Soto is like a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's younger. Kyle Tucker's got a ways to go. He's never had a season over 5.5 WAR. Soto has had 3 seasons above 5.5 WAR. I have so many questions. My first one that I want to process is, how in the world did he get this much money? And it's because the Dodgers are the Dodgers and they can do what they want. They can throw money around frivolously. But I'm looking at, like I said, Alex Bregman, and I wonder if his agents are like, we could have gotten more. And also I'm looking at a guy like Cody Bellinger. Let's pull up Cody Bellinger real quick. Cody Bellinger had 5.5 WAR this past season, which is more than Kyle Tucker. He had a 125 OPS plus, which is worse than Kyle Tucker. He had more home runs. He had less stolen bases. He had a better average. He had worse on base percentage. He had better slugging, a worse OPS, and a worse OPS plus. But Kyle Tucker just signed a $60 million average contract. So I'm looking at Cody Bellinger and I'm like, how far off are they? How far off are they really? Like, yes, Kyle Tucker has been more consistent recently, obviously. Could Cody Bellinger get a $40 million a year contract for what, 3 or 4 years? That would be absurd for a guy with his stature. And like I said, I think Kyle Tucker is incredible, but I just don't think he is the caliber to get that much money. And then my next question is going to be, what does that mean for these smaller market teams like the Brewers? Because I'm a Brewers fan. You got a guy like Bryce Terang. Bryce Terang isn't Kyle Tucker, I get that. He had one more WAR than him this past season and had a 121 OPS plus and finished in the MVP voting, which is what Kyle Tucker didn't do. So if Bryce Terang comes out in free agency and let's say he's been keeping up doing what he does. Let's say he's been putting up a consistently 5 WAR, which is what Kyle Tucker's been doing. And he does about the same. Is Bryce Terang a $60 million player a year? No, he's not. He's not. But the thing is, could the Dodgers go out and get a Bryce Terang for that much money? Because that's what the Dodgers can do. And they can put it all in deferrals. And I'm looking at it. I don't understand how you can have Shohei, Mookie, Yamamoto, Will Smith, Andy Pages, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman, Tyler Glasnow, all on the same team, Teoscar Hernandez. I was talking with my brother on the phone. The one issue they had in their lineup was Michael Conforto in the outfield. You had Kike Hernandez, play in the playoffs and everything like that. So your one spot that you really need to fill was a corner outfield position, so you just decide to get the best one on the market. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, you look at this squad and you think, again, what my brother and I were talking about, the Brewers were one of the best teams. They had the best record in all of baseball this past season. They made it to the NLCS. Are the Brewers better at any position? Catcher, Will Smith. Over William Contreras? Yeah, probably. Freddie Freeman over Andrew Vaughn, easily. Tommy Edman is worse than Bryce Terang. Mookie Betts is better than Joey Ortiz. Max Muncy is better than Caleb Durbin. Now in left field, if Tucker plays left field or right field, whatever. But the outfielders, you're going to have Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, and you're going to have Kyle Tucker. Sal Frelick maybe be better than Teoscar Hernandez now. And Zyd Churio is, unless he has a great season, is probably worse than Andy Pages, and whoever we have is worse than Kyle Tucker. And then at DH, you have Ohtani versus Yelich. And then when you look at the aces, Yamamoto is better than Freddie. He is. Freddie Peralta, that is. And then you have Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow and Shohei freaking Ohtani waiting in the wings. And Roki Sasaki if he's a starter. Because why not? Because why not? They are... and they got Edwin Diaz. The one other thing that they weren't good at was their bullpen, and they got Edwin Diaz. The guy who, correct me if I'm wrong, has the single season record for saves. What do you have, like 62? Or 57, so not 62, but 57. Casually. Most single season saves. Yeah. No, it was K-Rod. It was K-Rod with 62. Oh, was it AL? No, it wasn't the AL record, but 57 saves. Yeah, that was a long time ago, but still, this past season, he had a 1.63 ERA, and of course they picked him up. Because they can. So you got Ohtani, $700 million deal. Yamamoto was, what, $300 million? I'm sorry, $325 million. My apologies. You got Mookie Betts. So you're already over $1 billion. And that's Mookie Betts, $365 million. So you're adding on. So you're at like $1,300,000,000. 140 for Will Smith. Sure, why not? That's a cheap deal. Wow, they got it. Are you serious? They got Will Smith on a steal. That's incredible. Yeah, 12 million until the end of time practically. Well, 16 million right now, but it's going to be 12 and a half and until he's like 38. That's an incredible deal. Andy Pages is still in like pre-arbitration. Max Muncy. Like, and another thing that I was talking about with my brother is basically if the Brewers signed any of the players that were on the Dodgers this past season, and now with Kyle Tucker, obviously, if they signed anyone, if they signed Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, or Shohei, obviously, or Kyle Tucker, if they signed any one of those players, that would be our move. That would be like, hey, we had a good offseason, you know. Hey, we got Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman, who I think a lot of people would say is probably the weakest part of their lineup right now. I mean, at second base, which is absurd. It's absurd to think about. I mean, he had an 82 OPS plus this past season. Okay, yeah, but he plays a good defense. Former Gold Glove winner, and I know he's been beat up recently, but hey, if we got Tommy Edman, you know, say, okay, move Bryce Strang over to shortstop, you got Tommy Edman, Bryce Strang up the middle, you know, and then he's slotting in at your 6-hole, maybe your 5-hole. This team's looking really formidable. We could be a contender this year. That's signing their worst player. We signed Max Muncy, who's probably going to be batting, what, 7, 8? Wow, we got a 3.6 WAR player over at third base. You know, maybe Caleb Durbin could try out somewhere else. Wow, that's a huge upgrade. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're looking like a contender now. It's silly. It's silly. And we're gonna go into a lockout after this season because of this. Because of this. And I understand that every single team owner is a billionaire and that they have the money to spend if they want to. They don't have that money. They don't have that money at all. They don't have the money to sign Kyle Tucker to a deal that's worth $60 million a year. I saw Ask Kate Baseball, shout out, GOAT on Instagram, and she was like, the Marlins' whole entire team last year was $67 million. Kyle Tucker's basically going to be getting that a year. It's genuinely absurd. And hey, shout out Dodgers, because they're doing the thing and they're paying and they're putting butts in seats. And guess what? They're making money hand over fist. And they're going to make the World Series. They're going to at least, at a bare minimum, make the playoffs. If they don't win the World Series, that would be the biggest disappointment in all of sports history. If they don't win it with 3 guaranteed Hall of Famers already in Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani. 1 in Kyle Tucker that very well could be on his way. Will Smith could be on his way. He's getting a little up there in age to be on track, but I mean, he's one of the best catchers in baseball. He could be on pace. And Yamamoto, who knows if he could be in the Hall of Fame. Blake Snell's going to be an interesting case. So you got Edwin Diaz is probably going to be in. We'll see. Relievers are difficult. But my point is that you have a Hall of Fame team. Every single one of their players can be an all-star, a starting all-star this next season, and you wouldn't bat an eye. If Will Smith was your starting catcher at all-star, oh, absolutely. Freddie Freeman, yeah, sure. Tommy Edman, oh, he had a nice season. You know, second base, kind of weak position. Surprised Ketel Marte didn't get it, but you know what? Good for Tommy Edman. He was looking like he did in, 2022 when he put up a great season. Oh, you got Mookie Betts at shortstop. Yeah, sure, why not? You got Max Muncy over at third base. Okay, yeah, he put up 3.6 WAR last season. What's to stop him from doing it again this season? He had 136 OPS plus. He has one of the best eyes in baseball. He's a great walk rate, you know? Why not? You know? And then, left field. Okay, well, you got Kyle Tucker, of course. You got Teoscar Hernandez, one of the best hitters in baseball. Yeah, sure, why not? You know, he was kind of off this year, but if he is what he was, he's already a multiple-time All-Star. He's a home run derby champ. His season before this one, in the blue and white for the Dodgers. He finished 19th in MVP voting casually, got the Silver Slugger casually, and was an All-Star casually. He's a 2-time All-Star, 3-time MVP vote getter, and a 3-time Silver Slugger. So if he was an All-Star, you wouldn't bat an eye. And then obviously Shohei Ohtani is going to be an All-Star because he's Shohei Ohtani. If Andy Pages got it in center field, you'd be like, wow, he put up a nice season. He grew on what he did last year. That is an extremely realistic possibility. It really is. Like I said, you wouldn't bat an eye. You genuinely wouldn't. And starting the All-Star game is Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Why not? Yeah, Paul Skeens was a little off this season, but Yamamoto, coming off of winning World Series MVP after he pitched one of the most unbelievable performances I've ever seen. Oh, and then the rest of the starters who made it is going to be Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, and Shohei Ohtani. Because last season, he had under a 3 ERA. Under a 3 ERA, Shohei Ohtani. Best player to ever live. But the point is, Kyle Tucker. What a crazy contract. What a contract. And like I said, I'm sitting here and I'm like, what does this mean for any of the smaller market teams? Because I understand the idea behind if the owners wanted to do it, they could. The Brewers owners cannot pay that much money to a player. They just can't. They can't. And that's not even to mention one of the other smaller markets. Cleveland, Jose Ramirez, looking at what we have now, Jose Ramirez, his 7 years, $147 million, maybe the best contract in all of baseball. He's getting paid $21 this next season. And he took the hometown discount, which I appreciate so much for this future Hall of Famer, one of the best players to ever live. The Dodgers need to be stopped. And we're going to go into a lockout. And that is just a sad state of affairs. The Mets need to get their head out of the clouds, make some moves, because they have the money. Yankees too. And I saw a report that was like, oh, they're offering Kyle Tucker $50 million on a short-term deal, like $150, 3 years. And I was like, holy smokes, that's got to be a lie. There's no way. $50 million for Kyle Tucker. He's not that caliber of player. Oh, he's beyond that caliber of player, actually. It's absurd. It is genuinely absurd. All props to Kyle Tucker and his agents, though, because you did the thing. You got your bag. But the Dodgers need to be stopped, man. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, who is going to win the World Series aside from the Dodgers? And I don't think it's going to be anyone. Because there's nothing else you can do. They got the best reliever on the market and they got the best position player on the market. And you know what? They may not even be done. They could get Framber Valdez easily. And he could be their 5. He could be their 5 quite easily. Man, what a world. But that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Just a rant, but hey, shout out Kyle Tucker. You got your bag. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to say. This is something my brother mentioned. This is like the 5th time I mentioned my brother. Oh my gosh. But shout out, bro. Is you love this if you're Kyle Tucker. This isn't a super long contract. And it has opt-outs. But if it plays out the full time, he's just about to turn 29. He's going to be going into his age 33 season as a free agent. That's still your prime. You could still squeeze out another big contract if you really wanted to. Like high AAV, short term, you could get one for sure. And then, like, if he keeps up the play that he does. Or you could sign a long term for low AAV. Well, I don't know. All bets are off now. And the thing is, too, is that you're looking at Kyle Tucker. You're saying, well, you go to the Dodgers. Think of all the opportunities you are about to have. because you know you're going to make the playoffs every single year. You know you're probably going to make the World Series every single year. And if you do those two things, that is just more opportunity to show how valuable you are. Because you know what? The regular season doesn't matter when you're the Dodgers because you know you're going to make the playoffs. So if you say, hey, Kyle Tucker, chill, take it easy, hit a 110 OPS plus, you can be a little better than league average. Heck, you could be league average. Because guess what? It doesn't matter, because if you're good in the playoffs, everything is erased. Blake Snell, we saw that exact same thing play out. It's not that he was below average in the regular season. He was good. He only pitched in 11 games. That's all he did in the regular season, and he's getting paid a bunch of money too. He got paid $28 million last season to pitch in 11 games, but guess what? In the playoffs, he was incredible. In the playoffs, he pitched 8 shutout innings versus your Milwaukee Brewers. And that is all that mattered, because he helped get them into the World Series. And yeah, he wasn't great in the World Series, but it doesn't matter. And the bullpen let him down. But guess what? You got Edwin Diaz now, so the bullpen doesn't really matter, does it? It's unreal. I mean, they're doing their thing. They are doing their thing. But my point is with Kyle Tucker, because this is a Kyle Tucker video, is that even if he struggles for a year or two, that doesn't matter because he's on a 4-year contract. So if you struggle the first year and then you're great for the next 3 years, okay, fine. If you're great in the first 2, you're not fantastic in year 3. I don't know what the opt-out situation is, but if you leave, then okay, you're still going to get a bag, because guess what? You were great for the first 2 seasons, So, and then also, like I said, you didn't have a great regular season. Now you just got ample time to prove yourself. If you went to a team that wasn't good, like the Mets, not to throw Mets fans under the bus, you're not guaranteed to make the playoffs. So what you see is what you get in the regular season. So if he goes to the Mets, if he struggles for the 3 years that he's getting paid $50 million, and he wasn't great and they didn't make the playoffs, so he didn't get a chance to shine, he's not going to get his bag. Versus if he's not great with the Dodgers, but he gets to the playoffs and he is incredible, guess what people remember? Guess what teams remember? Guess what agents remember? He got the team a World Series ring. And you know what? They're probably going to three-peat. They may even do a back-to-back. They may even 5-peat. They may even 6-peat. They genuinely may. But you know what? Brewers were 6-0 in the regular season against them. And that's all that really matters. All right, I'm out. Peace.